Okay, so we raise all those topics for which, with a system like this, we might want to have customers and prospects choose us as opposed to our hotels. Now the battlefield is, like in all cases, distribution, meaning how essentially this tool or how such a booking journey, such a booking experience may help us hoteliers to eventually have customers and prospects that choose the direct channels and avoid them going back to the OTAs.
Well, I think it's what we do in our tool is actually we're giving two value proposals to the customer why to book directly. I mean, one is obviously complete personalization, design, customize your stay completely, which we talked about before. But the other part here is to explore, to use artificial intelligence and to allow them to explore most popular stay options and using some of the e-commerce best practices and implementing them here in our tool. So the first one, for example, is we started to introduce lowest price and most popular. Now, lowest price here is something which we call opaque sales, meaning we don't confirm anything other than the room and say, hey, but therefore it's the lowest price. You can create maybe attention if you wanted to. You can just do price dumping just to create shoppers on your site, to attract shoppers on your site. So that's kind of the reason why we did that. The most popular is obviously the social proof concept and saying people value what others like to do. We talk about Mr. Cialdini, who has this beautiful six things of
psychology of persuasion. Yes, everything in there is super cool. Yeah, and I guess you touch many points.
Exactly. And I love that, and it's very true. And basically, we also allow them to basically bundle experiences up as they wish to attract customers. So this gives them even before purchasing, you could actually market that into or promote that even in improving your search experience, or if you have a Google campaign, etc. So you can drive people and give them an incentive to book directly, and that's the incentive, to have a really individualized approach or to have really things that matter, which matter most to them.
Right, and I guess, I mean, you mentioned Cialdini, and you know how much I love everything. Everything related, you know, this marketing principle, because we talked about before, IKEA effect, the gamification, and now you mentioned another one, probably between all mental triggers, probably one of the, or probably the most important and most powerful one, which is about social proof. But I like the way, which is very much like you said, an e-commerce way, a typical e-commerce way, which is not necessarily hotel related, but a typical e-commerce, usually you have bundles. So when you have to select a product or a service, you have 2, 3, 4, 5 bundles or packages, and there is usually one with the most popular. As obvious as it sounds, or as simple as it sounds, or even as stupid as it sounds, but the most popular, nothing does but just connecting to what other people do. And that's exactly what we human beings do and seek, meaning we seek social proof. We want to do things and we want to have things that other people have. Therefore, the most popular thing, even though I'm not necessarily interested in specific features, I am anyway connected to the most popular thing because, okay, other people have chosen that room, then it might be good, and then I'm going to do that too. And again, if I'm not interested in any features, well, then it's the lowest price. So in that sense, for the, let's say, budget customers or low budget customers who go on a budget, so essentially they don't care what the hotel is going to be, what the hotel is going to look like, how the room is going to look like, as long as they have a bed and a pillow to put their heads on and a roof, well, that's pretty much okay. Well, that's anyway the lowest price, which is not a number, it's a tag, all right? And it's pretty much like a sales tag that you see in every, you know, fashion shops or whatsoever, but it's the same principle and it's very powerful. I really love that.
The one you don't see here is obviously the scarcity one, which OTAs are using a lot and saying 2 rooms left, 1 room left, etc., and creating the sense of urgency. Now we do implement that as well, but obviously it's subject to the availability, really. And I think personally it's a little bit overused in OTAs. It goes on my nerves. I mean, you have to be careful playing with this. And I think by now, I don't know anybody who doesn't understand that's not
Right.
really true, that there's only 2 rooms left, but it's just driving you to create a sense of urgency to make the booking now. And I think this is it's just a psychological effect, right?
I totally agree. Exactly. It's overused, especially on the OTAs, but also on the booking engine side. And most of the times it's even faked in the sense that they use this scarcity, even though there is no scarcity, just because there is this theory of scarcity, of using scarcity as a marketing technique, but we don't actually step into the customer and prospective customer shoes and thinking that probably they got too much used to it and they're not so stupid sometimes, so we might not really necessarily work with something else. So this was really, 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 really exciting, especially like everything we talk about, the possibilities, especially from a marketing perspective, that you can do with such a tool. Now, Marcus, is there a way for you to show us even a little bit more, like in practical terms, because we talk about all the benefits and all the things that we can do, but can we see eventually the process, like a demo of the tool?
Absolutely. I mean, we do prefer to do live demos, and we do that free of charge, just to showcase how that tool can help you as a hotel to really get a competitive advantage and drive more direct bookings. We'd be happy to do that and going through that in detail and see how it can be adapted for your hotel.
All right, so you're going to eventually I'm going to put eventually a link under this video so that people can sign up and essentially register for the demo, and then all the details are going to be in there, but of course the demo is going to be free. And yeah, thank you very much, Marcus. It was really exciting, very cool.